Third. Welcome to Meador Park in Springfield, Missouri, where we've got the clever.
Cody Mothersbaugh at first base and Robert Martin at third base. These umpires were selected to work this event based on their outstanding work during the regular season. Let's congratulate these hardworking officials who were selected to be a part of this year's championships. And now we ask that you all please rise, remove your caps, and honor America as we play our national anthem. Few announcements before we get this game started. Fans are reminded that standing or sitting in the aisles or entering the playing field are not permitted at any time during the Miniature Baseball Championships. We also ask that spectators refrain from entering the restricted media photography areas at any time. Also, Meador Park is a non-smoking facility. Your cooperation is expected and appreciated at all times.
All right, we're in.
welcome you back to Meador Park in Springfield, Missouri, as we've got Class 2 Consolation Baseball. Summit Christian Academy taking on the Clever Blue Jays. There you see Justin Snyder, the head coach for Clever. 43-5 at Clever, 57-17 overall. And his lineup will be led by the pitcher, David Pennywell, batting cleanup.
Yes, and when you got David Pennywell on the mound, you got a guy that has a fastball and changeup, can top out around 82 miles an hour, but has good command of each pitch and the willingness to throw them at any time.
Jonathan Finch is the starting pitcher for Summit Christian Academy. There you see his numbers, nearly 40 innings pitched. 18-13 the strikeouts to walks, and an ERA under 3.
Jonathan Finch is a senior, one of the leaders of this team, has really done a nice job over the last couple of years at that pitcher role. Compliments Matthew Verschelden very well. Verschelden will get up there and he will throw in the mid-80s as a fastball, but Finch will come by and be in the upper 70s with a fastball, but has good command of a changeup as well.
Pennywell, a .323 hitter this year. Travis Pennywell swings and drives the ball down the left field side, but out of play in foul territory. Sheldon, the left fielder, tried to go get it, but unable to track it down.
Pennywell comes into this Final Four with a .323 batting average with 7 doubles on the year. And when you watch Finch, he's a little bit deceptive with his speed, not going to be overpowering. He's looking to get the Blue Jays out on their front foot. See a lot of balls pulled today.
Curveball is fouled. No balls, 2 strikes to Travis Pennywell. Travis, a junior, and the younger brother of the starting pitcher, David. Might have went off the bottom of the bat. Close play. It looked like maybe it got him on the hand.
It looks like the left hand, the bottom hand on the bat, the ball glanced off of that hand. Umpire called it a foul ball.
If you show him the welt, will he change his mind?
You cannot change by rule. As much as you'd like to change it, he should not be able to change it because of that rule. He makes the call at home. It's just like a called third strike. You can't appeal a called third strike. You can appeal a ball, and they're going to stick within the rules.
Same umpire crew we had in the championship game, though they've moved around. Kevin Brucker is now behind home plate with Cody Mothersbaugh at first and Robert Martin at third. And now Pennywell drives it into left field. That's a base hit, a leadoff hit for the Clever Blue Jays. One lineup change for Clever. It will be Ranger Curtis starting at first base. I had an error on the lineups communicated to them. We thought Ian Spence was going to be starting. He had not played yesterday, which is would have been a bit unusual for him to step into the lineup at this juncture, but it was just a mistake, and it will be Ranger Curtis, who played yesterday, starting at first base and batting 5th for the Blue Jays. Foul down the line on the bunt attempt from Philip Valence.
It's an excellent job by Jared Gage, one of the senior leaders for the Summit Christian Eagles. What I consider, I've watched a lot of baseball over the course of the last couple of seasons, high school baseball in particularly. Jared Gage is one of the best defensive catchers in all classes in the state of Missouri. He is the pulse of this team, the heartbeat of this team, exactly what you want to have as a guy behind the plate that is a true catcher and not a guy that's just playing catcher. And you can see he has the smarts to go with it in allowing that bunt to go foul.
Throw over to first to try and keep Pennywell close. Another throw over as Valence, the second baseman, also pitched towards the end of the game, pitched the final 2 1/3 innings for Clever yesterday in their loss to South Callaway in the semifinals. That broke a 7-game winning streak for Clever. Valence gave up 1 run in those 2 1/3 innings on 4 hits. And they'll be going with David Pennywell to pitch here in the consolation game in the Class 2.
These two teams are somewhat familiar with each other, as in 2011 they faced each other in the first round of this state tournament.
This ball is lifted by Valance into left field, and almost a little too cute with it out there was Verschelden, but he did make the play.
Nice job by Verschelden out in left field, pitched yesterday. Made the adjustment. The wind is blowing from left to right, so the ball is going to die more in left field than it would in any other part of the park. He has to make that last second adjustment. Matthew Verschelden, what a great career he's had at Summit Christian. Consider this, Nick. He's pitched 2 times in this state championship. Last year in 2011, yesterday in the semifinals. He's given up a total of 4 hits in 12 innings. Amazing stats for that young man.
There's the catcher, Chance Wolf, waiting on an off-speed pitch, but fouling it back.
Chance Wolf with imposing numbers in himself. .566 batting average coming in to this Final Four with 8 doubles and 2 triples. Had a nice day yesterday.
And he rips this one over the head of the shortstop Gibson and into left field. Pennywell will hold at first, and now David Pennywell will come to the plate with 1 away. And runners at first and second as Chance Wolf, 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs yesterday, is now 1 for 1. Starting his night off with a single here in the consolation game.
Well, Wolf is one of the leaders of this team. Justin Snyder, the head coach, said he's the best player on this team. He's playing catcher, came in and ate up a couple of innings yesterday in their attempt to make it to the championship, but a good all-around player with a hot stick.
David Pennywell played shortstop and third base yesterday, 0 for 3 at the plate. Again, moving to pitcher today. Waves and misses to even the count at a ball and a strike. Working against Jonathan Finch, the pitcher for Summit Christian. Off-speed pitch fools Pennywell again. 2 strikes now.
And the recipe against Jonathan Finch for these batters, what they're going to have to do is, in their mind, think about driving the ball to right field. That's going to allow them to stay in on some of that off speed. He's very crafty. He mixes speeds very well. And you can see a demonstration of that in the last 3 pitches. Different speeds, good location, not going to pepper the strike zone. It's going to force the clever Blue Jays to hit the ball out of the zone and get out of their comfort zone in that situation. And Clever's going to have to make those adjustments.
Pulled the string on that pitch. Pennywell swung over the top of it.
Yes,
courtesy runner.
Number 0, Colin Gilmore.
Colin Gilmore. And at the plate is Ranger Curtis.
Curtis a little bit unorthodox in his batting approach, as you'll see him step in and he'll pull his undershirt up into his mouth and kind of chomp down on the neckline of his undershirt. We were trying to figure out if there was someone that Dave Stewart said last night that was a major league player that did something similar, but we could not figure it out. I had never seen that before.
I haven't seen that.
But it works for him.
0 for 3 yesterday. RBI chance here, but with 2 away. Needs a base hit for the clever Blue Jays to strike first here in the consolation game. Top of the first inning. Ball and a strike against Ranger Curtis with 2 away and 2 on. Finch. The 1-1 pitch bounces in front of the plate. The runners will advance. Travis Pennywell moves up to third, and Chance Wolf, or the runner for Chance Wolf, I should say, advances up to second base.
And you can see Travis does a nice job not getting a big lead, but getting an early jump, recognizing Finch in a rhythm in his approach to home plate, and is able to swipe third. And consequently, Gilmore is able to take second right after.
1-2 the count now against Ranger Curtis. Finch. Strike called on the outside corner. And that retires the Clever Blue Jays here in the first inning. Summit Christian works around a leadoff single. We go to the bottom of the first with no score. Summit Christian heading to the plate here in the bottom of the first inning. They work around a couple of hits in the top of the first for Clever, but a couple of strikeouts for Finch. Retires the side. John Gage, the head coach for Summit Christian. And there's your lineup with Jared Gage at catcher and batting cleanup.
One of the leaders of this team, batting .544, coming in to this Final Four with 7 doubles, 2 home runs, has only struck out 4 times on the season, and he's a switch hitter for power, so a very complete player for the coach's son.
David Pennywell also has an ERA under 3. Both pitchers have had good seasons. Pennywell 6-0 on the season and a great strikeout to walks ratio.
Well, he has good control. He works a fastball changeup, as we talked about earlier. 57 Ks on the year with only 12 walks. Very effective as this, not necessarily the number 2 pitcher for the Blue Jays, kind of a 1B guy.
Garrett Gibson will lead off. 1 for 3 yesterday in Summit Christian's 2-0 loss to Valley Catholic. They got just 3 hits in the ball game, and Gibson had one of them. Takes a called strike on the first pitch to Summit Christian for the ball game.
Garrett Gibson, .426 batter, 20 stolen bases on the year, has a great eye at the plate, a prototypical leadoff batter, likes to work the pitchers.
Golfs that one out into shallow left field. And that'll be a base hit for Garrett Gibson. Both teams getting their leadoff runners in the game on base with singles.
Now at the plate, number 1, Patrick Love.
Patrick Love 0 for 3 yesterday. The third baseman will come to the plate with a runner on and nobody out.
Here's one of the seniors I talked about in the open, Nick, where this game means a lot too. This young man battled injuries last year, didn't get a chance to play as a junior because of a knee injury, and has battled back and rehabbed and has been a very solid infielder and 2-hole hitter for this Eagles team throughout this senior season.
Tried to bunt, pushed it foul up the first base side. No balls and a strike. Now against Patrick Love. Now calls timeout. Shadows may be starting to have an effect. The ball will go from the shade into the sun and then back to the shade at the very end. It'll be tough for a hitter. Bounce that one right in front of the plate, but that's foul ball. And now perhaps Love will get the swing away signal with no balls and 2 strikes.
In this situation, you see Garrett Gibson at first base retreating back, has 20 stolen bases on the year, but Chance Wolf is a very good defensive catcher with a strong arm. Don't know if you want to try to challenge him in swiping second base.
Pretty good lead for Gibson. He has to scramble back and get to first as Pennywell throws over. Compact stance of Love. That was up above his chest, and a ball too high. Makes the count 1-2.
A lot of plate discipline by the Summit Eagles all season long. 1 through 9 have had their times when they've been productive. You look at their schedule and results, the scores that they've been able to put up. 13, 10, 38 runs in one game, 22 runs in another game, just offensive outputs that they've been able to display. They're just very consistent.
Love staying alive. 1-2 the count on the senior third baseman for the Summit Eagles. Runner at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss. Patrick Love goes down swinging for the first out of the inning.
Nice pitch by Pennywell. Draws it back with that changeup. Not going to really throw a curveball, just a fastball changeup, which has been very effective for him. Oftentimes, especially youngsters, get caught up in throwing a curveball, and we've seen a lot of instances where that has hurt players' arms, but this young man just leans on that fastball and changeup, and it's really worked for him.
Matthew Verschelden playing left field tonight, batting third. 0 for 3 yesterday. He pitched 6 strong innings, allowed just 2 hits and a couple of runs. Both of them earned, but not either of them on a hit. Had a bases loaded walk and had a wild throw on a pickoff play that allowed a run to score. They really pitched quite well yesterday for Summit Christian Academy. Fouls this one back out of play. Ball on a strike now against Matthew Verschelden.
Matthew's been excellent on the mound and defensively when he's not pitching. He's had some time at third base and in the outfield, but in the batter's box, in the 3-hole spot for the last 2 seasons. This year he's batting .500 coming into this tournament.
Ball misses outside, 2-1 now on Verschelden, a runner at first. That's Garrett Gibson, who got a leadoff single. Clever got a couple of singles in the first inning, in their half of the first. Both of them stranded when the final 2 batters of the inning struck out.
They hit the ball well in that first inning, though. Just hit it right at it. The Eagles' defense.
Pennywell's 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Evens the count at 2-2.
Very effective changeup by Pennywell there. No real tip-off. You often see young players that slow up their mechanics, maybe slow up their arm speed, change slots when they go from fastball to off-speed, but he does a nice job in keeping everything compact and not disguising it.
That pitch just downstairs. Runs the count full. 3-2 with 1 away here in the first. The right-handed Pennywell brings the 3-2 pitch to the plate. It's outside. Ball 4. 2 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the first for Summit Christian Academy.
Great at-bat for Matthew Verschelden, who's going to be playing at Rockhurst University next year. And
number 15,
as Jared Gage comes to the plate, another young man that's going to play college baseball at Longview Community College next year as well.
Coach's son, a left-handed senior. For the Eagles, an RBI opportunity. Runners at first and second for the Summit Eagles with one out. First pitch is in there for a strike.
Jared is a switch hitter against the right-handed Pennywell. He will bat from the left side. 544 on the year. Has good power to all fields from both sides of the plate.
The 0-1 pitch from Pennywell as he takes a long look back at Gibson at second. That ball just grabbed a piece of the outside part of the plate. And suddenly Jared Gage behind in the count, 0-2. Pennywell peers in there for a long time at his catcher. This one's fouled up. Back to the net. Straight back for Jared Gage. 2 on with 1 out. Clever stranded 2 in the top of the first. The 0-2 pitch is lifted into left center field. Long run and off the glove of Vershelden. Beg your pardon, Del Toro. And that will score a run. An RBI double for Jared Gage. Held up at third. Beg your pardon.
Tough play for Del Toro out in left field. The wind we talked about earlier was blowing from left to right. Now it's started to shift where it's blowing in just a bit from the left-handed Gage. Nice effort by Del Toro. Unfortunately, he did not make the catch, but fortunately for the Eagles, it skipped away from his backup in Travis Pennywell, the center fielder. So everyone is safe at each base.
Yeah, bases loaded now. Beg your pardon, saw a runner out there at second base, and I thought it was Gage. He had to stop at first base because the runners in front of him stopped because it looked like Del Toro was going to have a chance to make that play.
And in that situation, if you have 2 outs on the board, Nick, I would be, I'm looking at it the same way.
2-run score, probably.
2 runs would score. Otherwise, I'd be screaming at him if I was the coach with 2 outs. But Garrett Gibson on second base had to wait, and Vershelden at first had to wait to see if that ball dropped. And now we have Trent Evers is the courtesy runner at first base, number 35, a sophomore with good speed.
And the center fielder, A.J. Boyer, stands in the batter's box with the bases loaded and just 1 out. Another lefty for these Summit Eagles.
Defensively, they have the corners playing in for a double play at home plate, or a play at home. Middle infield is back at double play depth to try to turn 2 in the middle.
Fastball grabs the outside edge again. Kevin Brucker, the home plate umpire, has been pretty consistent in giving that outside strike call here in the early part of the game. That pitch was upstairs. 2-1. Boyer ahead of Pennywell, the pitcher.
A.J. Boyer has been a great asset to this team. He's been the number 2/number 3 pitcher for most of the season. Had some arm problems. Has been relegated to either the DH role, and he's just kind of gotten himself back acclimated into the center field position. But very good defense and good speed out of the batter's box from the left side.
Another fastball grabs the outside edge. Evens the count at 2-2. 1 away with the bases loaded for A.J. Boyer. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A huge strikeout for David Pennywell to get it to 2 outs here in the first inning.
It's a nice job by David Pennywell Fastball, changeup, comes back with the fastball on the outside part of the plate. You can see movement from each one of his pitches. That one works itself away from Boyer for the strikeout.
Now the right-hander, Jonathan Finch, the pitcher today. First pitch to him misses outside.
We've seen pitchers come through in the clutch and help their cause with some clutch hits in these games. And this is an opportunity for Finch to help himself.
Healthy RBI total on the year for him. Outside strike call once again.
Finch has a closed, very closed stance. Stands a little bit away from the plate, so can be susceptible on the outside corner.
The 1-1 pitch with the bases loaded. Swung on and missed. Aggressive cut there from Jonathan Finch. Behind in the count now, 1-2. The Clever Blue Jays left 2 on in the top of the first. Right now, Summit with the bases loaded, but they need a base hit to avoid perhaps 3 being left on here in the bottom of the first.
And in the pitcher's duel yesterday against Valley Catholic, although they did not have very many base runners throughout the game, the Eagles, in their situations when they had guys that could have created something offensively, they wind up striking out and not getting a chance to move runners.
The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. And just like the Clever Blue Jays, the Summit Christian Eagles had their last 2 pitchers strike out to end a threat. We go to the second, no score.
Tapping into the power of human connections. Leading off the inning, number 21, Tyler Martin.
No score through 1 inning of play in the Missouri Class II consolation game. South Callaway Bulldogs won their first ever baseball state championship earlier today here in Springfield. In Class II, they beat the Clever Blue Jays yesterday 5-2 and got by Valley Catholic today 4-3. Now Clever and Summit Christian left to duke it out for third place. Tyler Martin in the batter's box. Ahead in the count 2-0, but then swings and misses at that offering. And it's 2-1. Martin 0 for 3 yesterday, playing right field today. The 2-1 pitch from Jonathan Finch. Swung on and missed. Finch retired the last 2 batters via strikeout to end a 2-on and 1-out threat in the top of the first. Pitch misses away.
That's where you're going to see Finch be effective, is working the outside part of the plate, mixing up those speeds. Tyler Martin batting .324 coming into this final 4.
3-2 pitch swung on and missed. 3 straight strikeouts for Jonathan Finch. And Bryce Wilson will come to the plate. 0-4-2 yesterday. A .323 hitter on the season. Slaps this one between third and short, and that'll be a base hit. Both players dove at it, but they could not make the play. Just between Love and Gibson out there in the outfield, or in the infield, beg your pardon.
See, just jumps on the first pitch. Both players in the ready position, just a little bit too far for the outstretched arm of Garrett Gibson. No play to be made at first base in either case.
But down the line will be foul. And Bryce Wilson will fall behind in the count. No balls and a strike. Wilson playing third base tonight. 0-for-2 yesterday.
Chance Comer having an opportunity with one out. Justin Snyder giving him a chance to move the runner over. Another close game. Teams choosing to play small ball and go that route with the wind blowing and the elements and the deep parts of the park, especially down the line. Not going to have much power displayed by either of these teams.
That's Comer standing in, the designated hitter. Bounces this one foul. Bounced behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes now on the designated hitter, Chance Comer.
Very tough to bunt a changeup. Seems like it takes forever to get there, and you can see Comer. And it actually hits him, but because he's still positioned in the batter's box, they won't give him that call. You have to be careful on the drag bunt, making sure that ball doesn't hit you as you're moving to first base.
The 0-2 pitch just misses outside from Finch. One away with Bryce Wilson at first base. Chance Comer waits for the 1-2 pitch. Swings over the top of it. And another strikeout for Jonathan Finch. 4 strikeouts already for Jonathan Finch.
You kind of feel like you're watching a Phil Niekro or Tim Wakefield, even though Finch is not throwing a knuckleball. He's throwing a very effective changeup, and because of the difference between that fastball and change, it just seems to have the clever Blue Jays off kilter just a bit. They just can't wait back. It seems so appetizing to go after that ball. Their swings are way out on their front foot.
18 strikeouts for Finch and 40 innings of work is all he had all year. And now 4 strikeouts already in the first inning and 2/3 here tonight. And that pitch just upstairs. 2-0 now the count to Jordan Burnett. The shortstop is the bottom of the lineup.
And what you're going to see from Justin Snyder and the clever Blue Jays is they're going to try to get the running game as they get around this lineup and have an opportunity to bat against Finch for the second time. You can anticipate the run game because of the mixture of his changeup.
That's a called strike just on the inside corner.
As good a defensive catcher as Jared Gage is, it's going to make it very tough for him to throw runners out when there's a changeup thrown.
That pitch misses outside, and it's a full count. 3-2 with 2 outs. Runner at first is Bryce Wilson.
Wilson will be moving on the pitch.
And this one is slapped between short and third. A base hit for Jordan Burnett. The number 9 hitter gets a single, and there are 2 on for Clever here in the bottom of the top of the second inning.
Nice job by Burnett fighting off that slower speed on the outside part of the plate. And that's where we're going to see a lot of the hits. And so far, the hits that we've seen in this game by both Pennywells, brothers, Wilson, and Burnett have all gone to the left side. Guys that are getting out on their front foot, pulling that ball, when technically, and I'm sure Justin Snyder being a very good coach, coaches in the competitive level, travel team during the summer.
And Travis Pennywell lines out to the third baseman. That's the third out of the inning. Travis Pennywell singled in the first inning, but his line out ends the second. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score between Clever and Summit Christian in the Class 2 consolation game. Both teams have had chances, but have been unable to plate a run here in the first inning and a half of play. McKay with Dane and Hughes, and Dane and both teams may look back and be discouraged in not capitalizing on the early chances in this game.
Not only in this game, Nick, but I think they'll look over the course of both games that they've experienced in these last two evenings and recognize, because both games were so close, you always look back, and hindsight's 20/20. Missed opportunities have been the key for each of these teams.
David Tilma, the right fielder, chops this one very short. Tough play for the pitcher, but Pennywell throws him out. Pennywell had to be very aware of his surroundings there and get off the mound quickly to make that play defensively, throwing over to Ranger Curtis.
Very nice job by Pennywell. When he's not pitching, he's playing shortstop, so athletic. And you can see he gets off the mound in quick fashion and throws a strike to first base.
Ruben Erisman, the first baseman, number 8 hitter, getting his first chance to hit today. First pitch misses outside. Total of 7 runners stranded in the first inning and a half of this game. 2 in each inning for the Clever Blue Jays. 3 stranded in the first inning for Summit Christian.
Summit Christian's been very effective offensively, and part of that reason has been the bottom portion of the order. Ruben Erisman has been a guy that has batted in this 7th, 8th slot throughout the season, batted .391 with 4 doubles, only 10 Ks on the season thus far coming into this Final Four. So production by he and Torrin Hughes batting next at .390. Don't normally see upper 300 batting averages by your bottom tier lineup guys.
Erisman hits this one foul up the first base side. 2-2 the count now against the first baseman Erisman. Liberal use of the eye black there from Ranger Curtis.
Eye black, biting on the neck of the shirt.
The 2-2 pitch, and Erisman lifts this one into shallow right field. That'll be a base hit. Dana, I was watching a Mythbusters here on Time Warner Cable. They were talking about the eye black and whether it works or not. They kind of came to the conclusion it probably helps a little bit.
Oh, they did.
They did.
I wondered that because
they scientifically proved that it helped a little bit.
For me, I'm one of those skeptical guys. Eye black, Red Bull, 5-hour energy, all that stuff. I just wonder. I don't know. I'm sure there's some scientific proof behind it, but you never know. But it looks cool.
You ever heard of this guy, Danon?
Yeah, he comes from a good bloodline. Probably from his mother's side more so than his dad's side.
Dad was a pretty fair ball player in his own right. Torrance still a young fellow, just a sophomore. Good career in front of him here at Summit Christian.
Yes, he's a very good athlete in his own right. Loves basketball, plays baseball as well, and he's all-conference, all-district basketball player as a guard. Leading scorer for the Summit Christian Eagles, and baseball, he's played competitive since he was 9 years old. Has a great summer coach as well, Nick. I just want to tell you that. Summer Competitive League, probably one of the better coaches in the world. Could you imagine, could you guess who that would be?
Perhaps. Perhaps the guy sitting next to me, maybe?
Correct. No, got kids like him. I've been blessed. Have 5 children. He is the middle child, and been blessed in all 5 facets.
Falls behind, no balls and a strike, but there's a nice easy swing out into left center field. It'll be first and third for Summit Christian with 1 out. Actually, Hughes will take the base and he will be thrown out at second base. Hughes tried to make a heads-up play right there and take the base as the throw went to third. But a heads-up play defensively by Clever.
Exactly, and the third baseman, Bryce Wilson, you can see Torrance sees the ball thrown to second base, and this play has worked multiple times this year for he and several of the Summit Christian Eagle runners. Very aggressive on the base paths, and just a heads-up play by Bryce Wilson to dish the ball to Philip Valance for the tag.
And now the top of the order, Garrett Gibson, who led the game off with a single in the batter's box, and a single here would play to run. Hughes still did his job, advanced the runner all the way to third base. The runner now being Benjamin Clark, who was announced as a pinch runner. High and inside. Gibson ahead 2-0.
And we talked about
Erzman maybe will be out of the game now.
Well, we talked about the ruling, and I believe in MSHSAA that you can have that courtesy runner for pitcher and catcher anytime throughout the game, but more specifically, you can have it for any particular position player once. So in this situation, you can have a re-entry rule for Ruben Erzman. He can go back to first base, but at that point, you can no longer re-enter another player in regards to a pinch runner.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. Gibson bounces it back to Pennywell, the pitcher. Throws over to first. And that is the out. And that is the inning. Another man left on base. That's 8 left on base between these two teams through the first 2 innings. No score in the Class 2 consolation game.
Leading off the inning, number 3, Philip Valance.
Philip Valance flied out to left his last time up, and he will lead off the third for the Clever Blue Jays. Bounces it down the third baseline, foul. No balls and a strike.
Valance was 0 for 3 in yesterday's game against South Callaway Bulldogs, but bats .350 with 7 doubles and 2 triples coming into this Final Four.
And this ball is lined towards the shortstop. Gibson can't make the play. It trickles into left field. And a base hit for Philip Valance to lead off the third inning.
Tough play for Gibson at shortstop. Ball had some top spin from Valance. Seemed to die just as it got under Gibson's glove. Nice job of hitting.
It was a wicked spinning ball. Thought it was going to get over the shortstop.
Just died down right under his glove. Tough to, sometimes the ball looks like a knuckleball out in the field. Valance with a very healthy lead at first base.
That's a foul ball. And to clear it up, Erzman is back in the game after getting pinch run for by Benjamin Clark. So Erzman playing first base, pretty nifty pickup right there, but he was just in foul territory. So Chance Wolf will get another chance.
Very big lead by Valance at first.
I think it should be 0-2 now, the count. That was a ball, so it's a ball and 2 strikes. Didn't he? Maybe not. Maybe I'm remembering Valance starting off with a foul down the left side.
Chance Wolf in that situation, a ball thrown in the dirt. Nice job by Jared Gage blocking it, but Chance Wolf did an excellent job. Does not move out of the way for the catcher. The ball winds up resting behind his back foot, and Valance is able to swipe second base. For you young batters out there, the batter's box is the only place that you own on the field that is yours. So you don't have to move out of the way. A lot of times you see batters backpedal out of the batter's box when there's runners stealing. And I teach, and I'm sure a lot of these high school coaches teach it, make the catcher throw the ball over you or around you, but don't give them an easy pass.
As long as you're not hanging out over the plate, you won't be guilty of interference. Finch looks back towards second, but Gibson was not running behind the runner Valance, who's out there at second base now with nobody out. 2-2 pitch. Chance Wolf chops this one towards third. Runner will advance, but Love throws out Chance Wolf at first.
It's a nice job by Patrick Love catching it on the easiest bounce. Has to move his feet in to catch it on that high bounce to have a chance at a play by Chance Wolf at first base right there. Good heads-up play by Valance going from second to third, recognizing the charging Love had no chance to retreat and make a play there at third.
Now David Pennywell, the senior pitcher, struck out his first time up. Chops this one foul. And behind in the count here early against Finch.
Now here's a situation, Nick, where we've seen multiple balls pulled to the left side of the defense and left side of the field. Patrick Love and Garrett Gibson have had a lot of balls peppered their way. Infield is in for a play at the plate.
Pennywell hits it hard right at the shortstop. Gibson, who is unable to try and go home because of a mishandle just momentarily, but he does throw out Pennywell at first. But the first run of the game will cross home plate. A 1-0 lead here for the Clever Blue Jays.
Well hit ball by the pitcher, David Pennywell. Tough play on the short hop for Gibson, but he does his job and keeps it in front of him. If he had it over to do it again, he would make that play, but he just couldn't get the grasp, but good heads-up play to get the out at first.
And a good job to not panic once you bobble it a little bit. He might have had in his mind to go home, but he knew when he bobbled it he had no chance to do that. So take the out at first and make sure minimal damage is done in this inning. Right now the bases are empty with 2 outs.
And that's a great job all around by Philip Valance as he got to first base, hustle to second base on a wild pitch to third base on a slow roller and then to come home instinctively.
High pop-up for Ranger Curtis. Should be an easy play for Torrin Hughes, and he makes it. Pop out to the second baseman, ends the threat in the third. But the clever Blue Jays do get the first run of the game. They lead it 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. Already 9 hits between the two teams through 2 innings of play, but just 1 run, and a manufactured run it was. A leadoff single for Phillip Valance, and you talked about it, just a heads-up job of advancing whenever he could.
He did an excellent job on the base pass, had a nice line drive single between shortstop and third base, and then proceeded to swipe second on a pass ball, third on a slow roller. Good aggressive running. Well taught by Justin Snyder and executed by Valance.
That's why that leadoff base runner can be so dangerous. Leadoff single for Valance, 3 straight outs, but still a run scores. Now Summit Christian will try and draw even. Patrick Love will lead off the bottom of the third inning, and he will look at a fastball upstairs for ball 1. Pennywell delivers a fastball just on the outside corner. Strike 1.
Patrick Love, one of 2 players for the Summit Christian Eagles on the principal's honors roll. Then had a great academic career.
A fastball from Pennywell, fouled back and out of play.
Part of the National Honor Society as well. Very accomplished high school career for that young man.
Pennywell taking a long time to come home, and finally Patrick Love got tired of waiting.
Sometimes there's a little gamesmanship between batters and pitchers. See who can get uncomfortable first.
Curveball fouled out of play. Ball and 2 strikes against the third baseman Patrick Love. He struck out in the first inning, as Pennywell struck out the side in the first. The 1-2 pitch, another foul ball. Patrick Love extending this at-bat out and making Pennywell work. This will be the 7th pitch Love has looked at. The 1-2 pitch from David Pennywell. Another foul ball. Love just did get a piece of that one to stay alive.
Nice job of fighting off that fastball. Pennywell really locating his pitches well. Outside part of the plate, he's peppered it outside. And give a lot of credit to Patrick Love for fighting those pitches off, hoping that Pennywell will make a mistake.
Another foul ball. That is 5 straight foul offs by Patrick Love.
And what you're seeing in Patrick Love's approach is that perfectly effective two-strike hitting. You teach your batters with 2 strikes, you let the ball travel, drive the ball to opposite field so you're ready for every pitch. Outside, inside, fastball, changeup.
And he's staying alive.
And these are situations, Nick, where you talk to statisticians and baseball people when they say about quality at-bats. This is an example of a quality at-bat, no matter how it unfolds. To force the pitcher to throw this many pitches in the battle, it's not something that's going to show up in the stat book, but it is a quality at-bat.
Yeah, harder to quantify, but I believe this will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Upstairs.
And that's where you start to see where pitchers start to rear back and they get outside the box. Or outside the zone, I should say.
I think our home plate umpire, Kevin Brucker, he noticed the scoreboard. It's 2-2. The scoreboard said 0-2. The first pitch of this at-bat was a ball.
And then that last fastball.
And that last fastball was upstairs. So it's now 2-2.
You're going to need a calculator.
He checked with the other umpires to make sure he wasn't crazy, and they confirmed it should be 2-2. So the 2-2 pitch. And I believe we'll now have a 12th pitch of this at-bat. What a great job by Patrick Love here.
Good job of competing by Pennywell. Patrick Love as well, and the umpire has to go and get some more baseballs.
You know you've done a good job.
You can get all those balls out of the bag. You've done a very good job as a batter.
Nobody out. Love, the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The 2-2 pitch from David Pennywell. And now he'll step off the rubber. The gamesmanship continues.
Good to see these 2 young men competing against each other. Neither one giving an inch.
Talked about the quick pace in the first game. This one's been more methodical. And now Kevin Brucker rings up Patrick Love, a called 3rd strike.
It's a nice job by Pennywell with the changeup. Went to the fastball a couple of times out of the zone. Worked back with the changeup. Great location on the outside part of the plate. Too close to take by Patrick Love. Just watched it go by for the strikeout.
And count me as a fan of the called 3rd strike motion from our home plate umpire, Kevin Brucker. Might need a replay of that one, guys. That was pretty good.
Everyone has their own little signature. It's kind of like when you're a kid in high school, you practice your autograph. Have umpires, I'm sure, look in the mirror.
Oh, wait for part 2. Oh, we just missed it. That's the best part.
Part 2, there's an extra.
Part 2 is when it gets funny. Here's Versheldon chopping one foul down the 3rd base side. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Versheldon walked in the 1st inning. Now here in his 2nd plate appearance in the 3rd. One away, base is empty. Lots of scoring chances for both these teams. So far, just the 1 run for the clever Blue Jays in the top of the 3rd inning. Really pulled the string on that pitch, and it's a called strike.
David Pennywell is living proof of how you don't need a curveball to be effective. If you have a guy that doesn't change any arm speeds, doesn't tip his pitches, but can work a fastball changeup.
This one lifted high in the air. Ranger Curtis a long run. This one's going to get out of play.
Good hustle by Curtis right there. You can see just outside the dugout area. There's actually a white line painted over there that if he catches it past that point, it's out of play anyway, so it would have been a no play nonetheless, but still great hustle.
Now Vershelden will call time. Just the second batter of the inning here in the third. Base paths are empty with one away. 1-2 pitch. Missed low to even the count at 2-2.
There's that changeup from Pennywell. Really likes to throw that pitch. Really has confidence and showed confidence in that pitch at any time in any bat.
Vershelden rips this one towards third. Wilson throws out Vershelden.
Two very nice plays by Bryce Wilson at third base. The pickoff of Torrin Hughes earlier, and then that play, a tough play, a short hop. Exactly how you want your third baseman to play it. Drop the knee. Be prepared to take it off your chest if necessary to be a backstop at third base. First base, third base, catcher. Guys that need to be backstops and not afraid of it. Bryce did a nice job.
Good stretch by Ranger Curtis at the end of that play as well. And now this ball ripped foul by Jared Gage, the catcher. Had a single his first time up. The 0-1 delivery from Pennywell pulled the string again. Missed low. 1-1 now the count. Jared Gage, .544 during the regular season. These Summit Eagles. Just missed for ball two.
Look at both of these programs, Nick, and you have to give a lot of credit to their schools and in particular to the coaches. Just think about the fact that both Clever and Summit Christian, this is their second year consecutively here on this stage.
Here's a ball hit right at the shortstop, Burnett. And it's a hard-working but 1-2-3 inning for David Pennywell. He had to throw some pitches, but he retires Summit Christian in order in the bottom of the third. Back with the fourth inning in the Class II consolation game.
Leading off for Clever, number 21, Tyler Martin.
Tyler Martin struck out to lead off the second inning, and now will lead off the fourth inning. His team up 1-0. They're in the Class II consolation game. Big swing and a miss from Martin on the first pitch of the at-bat. We talked about Pennywell's pitch count. We checked during the break. 53 pitches through 3 innings for David Pennywell. So a 1-2-3 inning, but He threw well over 20 pitches, I do believe, in that inning just to get through it.
Good battling by the Summit Christian Eagles. Give some credit to them, but nothing on the scoreboard. You still got to give a lot of credit to Pennywell because he's been effective.
Got to be a grind as a pitcher when a guy just keeps spoiling good pitches and you have to make a good one over and over and over again. And credit to him, as you said, he eventually got the job done against Patrick Love, who made him throw him 12 or 13 pitches. 3-1 now to count as Jonathan Finch back out there on the mound for Summit Christian, working against Tyler Martin. The 3-1 pitch misses low and away, and Martin will jog to first base with a leadoff walk.
Well, the last inning, Philip Valance was able to score the one run of the game. As the leadoff batter of that inning, he got on with a hit. And you talked about it several times, how much success, with the percentage of your success rate goes up when that leadoff batter gets on. And Tyler Martin, batting in that 6th slot, is able to get a walk, and now he's in that same position.
Bryce Wilson singled in the 2nd inning. And he stands in the batter's box against Finch. So far hasn't faced a pitch, 2 throw-overs to first base. Now Wilson will bunt it, and they'll throw to second, and they get the force. Good decision by Jonathan Finch. We talked in our open, Danon, that we would see good defense from both these teams. Finch showing some good defense himself as the pitcher.
Good defense and trust in his second baseman. Nice job by Torrin Hughes. Scooping that ball. Difficult throw from the pitcher. No chance to turn the double play, but good hands by number 30.
And now the designated hitter, Chance Comer, watches strike 1 go by.
Is it right when your son has a game face on that your dad is laughing? Am I supposed to be smiling when he has a... Shouldn't we both be in sync together?
He's going to have to take the good with the bad. Maybe a little razzing about his game face, but you said he made a nice play there.
Yes, he did. Proud of you, son. Get back to work.
His team down 1-0. The 1-1 pitch misses up and away from Finch. Good question here from Jason West, who's been a huge help all week from the Michigan Communications Director. Does he get the game face look from his mom too? That is the question.
Well, unfortunately, I've seen that look from his mom. That's not a game face from her. She means business too, so I assume he's getting that from her.
Is that game face right after she uses his middle name, perhaps?
Yes, and uses my middle name.
Yeah. A couple of off-speed pitches from Finch, and Comer goes down swinging. Finch pulled the string on back-to-back pitches. And Comer strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. Now Jordan Burnett, the shortstop. Bottom of the order, got a single in the 2nd inning. Takes ball 1.
Burnett did a nice job pitching last night. Pitched 4 2/3 innings, only gave up 6 hits in that game. May see him come in to pitch later in this ball game as he only threw 64 pitches, but was very effective early on and got into that 4th inning and seemed to get a little tired, and that's when they brought in Chance Wolf, who's behind the plate.
Yeah, his teammate David Pennywell almost at that number through just 3 innings. 53 pitches thrown thus far. 1-1 pitch to Burnett. Off-speed pitch that missed low and inside. 2-1 the count. See a look there at the Blue Jays dugout. Off-speed pitch just missed away.
See Finch a little bit frustrated with that call right there. Thought he painted the outside. Wanted that call badly.
Instead of being 2-2, it's 3-1. Gets that call. And now they're going to try and double off. The runner at first, Bryce Wilson.
Almost
shouldn't say double off, but just catch him too far off the base.
He almost caught him sleeping over there. If a stronger throw was made, and Jared Gage did a nice job right there.
Now here's a roller to the shortstop. Little trouble for Gibson, and safe at first is Burnett.
Another tough one-hopper hit. Good job of hitting by Burnett, hustling out of the batter's box the entire way. Another ball that's tough to grab for Gibson. Throws a strong throw to first, and just a little bit late. Head first slides into first base, Nick. Dave Stewart and I went round and round about that. I think there's times when you can justify it. It's not the safest thing, but it's a baseball play, and you got to tip your cap to that young man for the extra hustle.
Ruled an error on Burnett, or on Gibson rather. Burnett reaching safely, his counterpart at shortstop. And now runners at first and second for the top of the order. Travis Pennywell, senior center fielder. Beg your pardon, the junior center fielder. Reached down for that one. That was out of the strike zone.
Trying to help his big brother out here with a timely hit with two outs.
The 1-1 pitch from Finch. That's right in there for a strike. Strike two called. Travis Pennywell singled in the first, lined out to third in the second to end that inning. Strikes out swinging, and that retires the side in the clever half of the fourth inning. Back with the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 your score in the Class II consolation game. Another pitcher's duel in the Class II championship weekend here in Springfield. This is the fourth game played in Class II, and all of them have been low-scoring affairs. And now a leadoff swing from A.J. Boyer, lifted into left field, but Del Toro under it and records the first out of the inning on just one pitch. So Pennywell getting it out on one pitch, and there is one away here in the bottom of the fourth inning with Jonathan Finch, the pitcher, who struck out to end the first inning, up at the plate for his second at-bat. Pennywell would love an efficient inning as Finch swings and misses at strike one. 5-2 was our highest scoring game as South Callaway beat Clever yesterday in the semifinals. The other semifinal was 2-0 Valley Catholic winning. Then 4-3 in the championship game earlier today, South Callaway capturing their first championship. We don't really seem to be on pace to see more than a handful of runs here in this game, although high school baseball,
you never can
any
tell.
team can explode at any time, and suddenly we got a run rule situation in the 5th or 6th inning. It certainly happened before. Finch down, no balls and 2 strikes. Both pitchers have looked pretty strong thus far. Pennywell, swing and a miss from Jonathan Finch. And yet another strikeout from the senior David Pennywell. That's his 5th strikeout of the game.
Finch has been very effective on the mound thus far in this game, but has yet to break out in the batter's box with 4 official at-bats and all strikeouts.
Now David Tillma, the right fielder, chops this one towards short. And an out recorded at first base. Heck of a play by Burnett at shortstop, throwing over to Curtis, and we go to the 5th.
The official baseball of the Bishop Championships.
David Pennywell has retired 7 straight for Clever. And the Blue Jays lead 1-0 as we go to the 5th inning. Philip Valance, the second baseman, leads off, rolls it right to the shortstop, Gibson. Gibson throwing to first. Erzman reaches out and snags it for the first out of the inning. Gibson charged with an error in the last inning. Recovers nicely, makes a good solid play to retire Valance on 1 pitch.
Nice job attacking the ground ball, not allowing the ball to play him, and then makes a strong throw to first base for the out.
Now Chance Wolf up to the plate. .566 hitter on the season for the junior catcher for the Blue Jays.
Clever only had 4 hits against South Callaway yesterday in the 5-2 loss. 2 of those hits came from this young man with 2 RBI. So he was the offensive MVP for Clever yesterday. They just couldn't get much more production around him.
Batted in both runs last night for Clever. Now jumps ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Jonathan Finch out there for his 5th inning of work. Paints the outside corner with an off-speed pitch for a strike. It's turned into a beautiful day here in Springfield. Crisp early evening as Finch bounces that one in the dirt. Just barely got it to the dirt. Not hard for Wolf to lay off that pitch. It's a rainy start to the day. Rained a lot here overnight. Outfield was a bit soggy to start, other than maybe a few folks being caught a little off guard by the crispness in the air, it's a pleasant evening, especially for the last day of May. Strike 2 called, and a full count now on the catcher, Chance Wolf. Base is empty, 1 away here in the 5th. The 3-2 pitch. Wolf hits it to short. Gibson up with it and makes his second straight put out of the inning.
Seeing some very effective pitchers. Nice play by Garrett Gibson again. Catching it on the easier hop, making a strong throw to first. But when you look at what Finch has been able to accomplish, Pennywell, and our previous game, Rollhouse and Kemper, you're seeing very effective pitchers that are throwing themselves a lot of ground balls.
Oh, this ball is crushed by Pennywell, and he hits it over the head of the center fielder, Boyer. That's going to be a stand-up double for David Pennywell, the pitcher, who jumped all over the first pitch and had the hardest hit ball we've seen in 2 games here, I do believe. That ball was crushed.
It was absolutely crushed. Nice job by Pennywell helping his cause, getting himself in scoring position. Fastball over the heart of the plate. A.J. Boyer with a lot of speed, can't catch up to it. Playing a little bit shallow because of the wind factor blowing the ball in. Not many balls, like you said, Nick, have been hit that hard. Nice job by Pennywell.
And now Ranger Curtis, who is 0 for 2 today, an RBI chance. Flares this one down the third base side, and it's an easy out in foul territory for Patrick Love, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Finch works around a 2-out double. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Clever leads Summit Christian 1-0.
Captured the title with a 12-3 win over Norwood. Before this, South Callaway held on to a 4-3 win over Valley Catholic for this Class 2 title.
Summit Christian still looking to scratch out that first run. Both teams lots of opportunities in the early innings. Only the 1 run scored, though, by the Clever Blue Jays. And now both pitchers seem to be settling in a bit. Finch gave up the long double in the last inning, but Pennywell has now retired 7 straight. Pennywell back out there for the 5th inning. Faces Ruben Erzman, the first baseman. Takes ball 1.
Ruben got a nice single in his last at-bat in the 2nd inning and gotten some production from the bottom of the lineup, but yet have yet to plate a runner in either game.
Erzman was stranded at third base, one of 4 runners stranded in the first 2 innings for Summit Christian. They'd gone 3 up, 3 down in the last 2 innings. 1-0 pitch, swung on by Erzman, tough hop, and Burnett can't make the play. Erzman safely at first base.
Another well-struck ball by the first baseman, Ruben Erzman, trying to get things going offensively for Summit Christian.
And that'll be charged as an error to Burnett. Kind of a 50-50 call there.
Yeah.
Probably a play he should have made.
Gets caught in between hops. I don't know if I agree with that error call, but nevertheless, you're in a situation now with Torrin Hughes up that you'd like to think there'd be a small ball philosophy being displayed here where Torrin would look to bunt over Erzman and get him in scoring position for the tying run.
Does not show bunt as he takes ball one.
Totally different ball game than what we saw between Clever and Summit Christian in 2011. That game was 12-2, was over fairly early in that game. Now we have a pitcher's duel.
And now the runner is going, and boy, a good throw would have got him, but he's in there safe as Erzman goes from first to second on the stolen base. You mentioned Chance Wolf, good defensive catcher, but that was an errant throw up the line. Not a great jump from Erzman. He was dead as a doornail if the throw had been on line.
A very gutsy call by John Gage at third base. Erzman, that was his second stolen base of the year, and I believe only his second attempt on the season. So the young man who's been pinch run for early in the game gets a little fire behind his wheels and takes second base.
And now it's 2-0 to Torrin Hughes, who's got an RBI chance. Now he'll bunt, and it's just foul up the first base line. Thinking being here, if you can get the runner on third with just one out, a sacrifice fly could get him home.
Well, in this situation, you have Torrin Hughes, who can handle the bat well, has been accustomed to bunting in these situations. I would not be surprised personally, Nick, if they tried 2 bunts in a row with Torrin moving the runner to third and then trying a squeeze to get Ruben at home. You hate to leave a guy in scoring position with one out. Garrett Gibson up next.
Top of the order will be up with Gibson. Hughes, a good bunt right down in front. Pennywell throws to first, and it's mishandled. Valance, the second baseman, coming over to cover first, and all the way from second comes Erzman to score. Pennywell checked the runner, realized he could not throw Erzman out at third, went to first instead, and with the rotation of Curtis coming in to try and play the bunt, it was Valance covering first, and he had to go off his glove. It was a good throw from Pennywell. He just didn't catch it.
A great fielded bunt by Pennywell off the mound, and you and I have talked about it. Dave Stewart has talked about it. We've seen it multiple times in this tournament. When you can execute a bunt in situations when the opposing team knows it and you're still called to do a job, good things are going to happen. Good heads-up play by Erzman at third base, showing the speed, lumbering home for the game-tying run. Errors were costly yesterday for the Summit Christian Eagles against Valley Catholic. They're able to benefit for their first run of the Final Four off an error by Clever.
Ties the game at 1 with the top of the order. Garrett Gibson, the shortstop, coming to the plate. Still nobody out here in the 5th inning.
Now you're in a very similar situation where you have Gibson at the plate. Hughes has some good speed at first, but Gibson handles the bat well, has a good eye. Recycle the same philosophy and drop down a bunt to move him on.
Single to start the game. Grounded back to the pitcher in the 2nd inning to end the Summit Christian second. Takes ball 1 with Hughes on first base.
You see Hughes at first base. He will lead off very early, will stay out in no man's land, challenging the catcher and the pitcher. Exactly how you want to teach your base runners to play.
Very good bunt up the third base line. Out at first is Gibson. Hughes safe at second. No hesitation from Bryce Wilson. He charged down the third base line, scooped it up, threw to Curtis at first for the out.
Very nice job, well executed bunt for Summit Christian. Hughes at second has the best seat in the house. Good speed, but a nice job by Wilson on a strong throw to first base.
He didn't even look to second base. Great bunt from Gibson, moves the runner, does his job, and now Patrick Love 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts is up into the batter's box.
Patrick Love had an epic battle with David Pennywell in his last at-bat. We counted 13 pitches. Wind up striking out looking, but has been a young man that has a great eye at the plate. And in this situation with the man in scoring position, less than 2 outs, looking to get something behind the runner and possibly score the go-ahead run by Hughes.
And now Braden Daniel will come in, replacing Tyler Martin in right field. And that is the leadoff spot here in the next inning. Interesting time for the substitution.
Very interesting, and you consider it's not necessarily a situation where you think Tyler Martin would come in to pitch, because the next pitcher would be actually the catcher, Garrett Wolf, again.
And here's a bouncing ball to third. Hughes nearly tagged up, and now he's going to go back to third. Wow, heads-up play by Hughes. The third baseman, Wilson, had a chance to maybe catch him in a rundown. Instead, decided to get the out at first, and then Hughes heads up, went to third on the play.
Not a well-played ball by Hughes at second base. The ball hit to your right side. You have to see it through. A little bit too aggressive. He is very lucky that Wilson did not get him in that pickle between second and third. There's a fine line between aggressive base running and non-aggressive base running, or not very sure base running, I should say. And he's very lucky to get out of that situation.
Now Verschelden grounded out to third his last time up. He has got an RBI chance with 2 outs. Tie ball game here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The 0-1 pitch from Pennywell just misses outside. One and one now the count on Matthew Verschelden. Swung on and lifted into the air, shallow right field. Now dropping back, hit a little deeper than I thought. Daniel goes back to make the play. Braden Daniel has been in the game for 1 batter, and he already gets a chance to get it out, makes the play. We go to the 5th, or go to the 6th with our score tied at 1. interesting half inning, but Summit Christian does get a run across to tie the game at 1, and now Tyler Martin, who was replaced defensively in the last half of the inning, does come back. There's a utility substitution, utility re-entry as well, and Martin will come back to hit to lead off the 6th inning. Our thought maybe being that Daniel maybe came in there because of a strong arm.
Yeah, I think so in that situation.
But wasn't there already 2 outs?
Well, there was, but in that, if you have a free re-entry and you don't have, nothing's hurt by it, you have a potential go-ahead run at second base, maybe you bring in Braden Daniel to be a stronger throw to home. If you have a play at the plate, you have nothing to lose. So I would assume that Justin Snyder, that was probably his thinking.
And here's Martin getting a base hit just beyond the outstretched arms of Gibson. A leadoff single for Clever. And Dana will remind folks that we're watching a third-place game. I think these young men have put that completely out of their minds. They're just playing ball now and trying to get a win.
Exactly, and you can see another well-hit ball here. Tyler Martin, another ball that's just outside of the outstretched arm of Garrett Gibson, has that topspin.
And a bunt from Bryce Wilson. The pitcher Finch comes down and fields it, throws to Erzman for the out at first. Wilson advances the runner, Martin going to second.
Good defensive plays by Wilson, a nice job executing the sacrifice bunt to move the go-ahead run over Tyler Martin to second base.
And now RBI chances for the bottom of the order. Chance Comer, the number 8 hitter, designated hitter. Swinging at the first pitch, and that's right in the hole between first and second. And they'll send the runner. It's going to be close, a play at the plate. He's safe on his feet. Tyler Martin comes around all the way from second base to score on the seeing eye single into right field.
Looked like David Tillman on right field double clutched on his throw to home plate. Don't know if there was some confusion in where the cutoff man was. Second baseman Torrin Hughes is over, playing shaded up the middle just a bit, and right there, double clutch. Good strong throw to the cutoff, but you can see the bang-bang play that would have been possible had he come up gunning from the beginning.
And Chance Comer, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, comes up with a huge RBI single. And now they've got a sub runner for him.
Very tough play out there, a lot going on. The runner, one pitch, sacrifice bunt, next pitch, drive to right field. No blame to go around anywhere, just well-executed plays by the Blue Jays.
And it's the left fielder, David Del Toro, who comes in to run in place of Comer. Jordan Burnett, the shortstop, the number 9 hitter, stands in and takes strike 1. So Clever answers the Summit Christian run with a run of their own. Just that quickly, and there's one away with a runner at first. Slowly hit ball to Hughes, makes the tag in the base path, and throws out Burnett at first. Great play by Torrin Hughes to end the inning. A double play, but damage done by Clever in the 6th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with Clever back on top, 2-1. Back here in Springfield, there you see Torrin Hughes, who just killed the rally from the clever Blue Jays with an inning-ending double play.
A nice job. Ground ball hit the second base. Good job with the presence of mind to make the tag and double up the runner at first base. A little unconventional, but a very smart play by number 30.
Number 4 hitter Jared Gage will lead off the 6th inning for Summit Christian. They are the home team here in our Class 2 consolation game. Congratulations to South Callaway, Class 2 champions in the game right before this one. 4-3 winners over Valley Catholic. First ever state title for South Callaway in boys baseball. Swing and a miss for Gage. Ball and a strike. Now on the catcher for Summit Christian.
David Pennywell, that changeup is still working for him. Very effective as he's gone up there in his pitch count. Fastball changeup in his arsenal. He's been very effective today. Very impressive by that young man.
Catcher Wolf goes out to chat with Pennywell. Leadoff hitter here in the 6th. Been tough to generate offense for both these teams here tonight. Both pitchers have been pretty solid, especially in critical situations. We knew both defenses would be good, and we've seen some pretty good defense. 3 combined errors as well as Gage lifts this one into the gap in right center. Long run for Pennywell out in center field, but he makes the play. Travis Pennywell chases it down for the first out of the inning.
Well hit ball by Gage and a great jump by Travis Pennywell to take away the gapper for the first out.
Pennywell, like we've seen most of the day, was shaded just a little bit left of center. So an especially long run, but you mentioned it, a good jump. That ball seemed to hang up in the air just a little bit.
Well, the wind has died down just a little bit, blowing in slightly. Totally different than what we've seen the rest of the games earlier today as well as yesterday.
A.J. Boyer looks at strike 1. 1 out here in the home half of the 6th. Summit Christian with 5 outs to put together a rally.
The depth of the outfielders leans towards your success being more down the lines. If either of these teams can muster up a pull or a slice down the lines, it's going to be extra bases, possibly even a triple, depending on how they motor out of the batter's box.
Boyer heading the count. 2-0. Now it's 2-1. The first pitch was a strike. The scoreboard was inaccurate. There's 2-1 now. So the 2-1 pitch with 1 away, base is empty. And Boyer looks at strike 2.
Good location on that fastball by Pennywell. Boyer, a pull hitter. Ball looks a little bit further outside to him, but nice location.
Wolf signaling for Pennywell to look for the outside edge. It's a curveball hit on the ground and through into left field. A 1-out single for A.J. Boyer.
An excellent job of hitting for Boyer, who broke out of a slump between yesterday and today with that nice seeing eye single to the left side. Slow changeup by Pennywell gets Boyer out on that front foot, but he holds his balance just enough to poke it between third and short.
And now the pitcher, Jonathan Finch. Right now is the pitcher of record in the loss column, unless he could maybe do something right here.
Boyer has good speed at first base. We saw Summit Christian Eagles send Ruben Ersman, who had his 2nd stolen base of the year. And in this situation with Boyer with 8 stolen bases on the year, might see aggressive base running as well, trying to get him into scoring position to tie this ball game.
Finch 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts today, 0 for 2 yesterday as well. So he's been in a little state slump as well. Looks at ball 2.
Pennywell has to be careful, being cognizant of the base runner, and Boyer has to slow down and come to that stop, or at least a pause out in the mound as he works from the stretch.
Finch takes ball 3. Pennywell missed low. 3 balls, no strikes with a runner at first. One would think Finch will make Pennywell throw a strike here. Pitcher versus pitcher. Dueling here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pennywell grabs the outside corner.
Good strong fastball. Pennywell's fastball has some movement. You can see how it worked itself away from the right-handed batter. More of a two-seam fastball. Not a whole bunch of pop to it, but good location.
And a quick throw over to first. Back in time is Boyer. Got his uniform dirty, though. I think that clever crowd wanted an out there, but it didn't look particularly close.
Nope. That's how you, when you're base running and you're taking your lead, you want to have a lead that is almost picked off, that you're almost getting picked off, because that's an aggressive lead that gets the notice of the pitcher.
Pennywell misses high and away with that pitch. And 2 on now, 1 out. And it looks like Pennywell will come out of the game at pitcher at least. We're going to see quite a bit of lineup shuffling here.
Well, this is exactly what they did last night against South Callaway, where the catcher, Chance Wolf, came in to shut things down for the final 2 innings. And he switches from the catcher position and is going to take the mound. Justin Snyder says that Wolf is his best player. And he'll come in and has a very strong arm, will throw that fastball in the low to mid 80s.
Solid day though for David Pennywell. Had to throw a lot of pitches, especially in the early going, but a strong performance for the senior.
Yes, he had his pitches working. His location was excellent. Fastball up, fastball out, changeup out over the plate. Really kept the Eagles off balance all evening long. Nice job by that young man. Leaves the game with a 2-1 lead. Lost a little bit of his gas late in the ball game, hoping that that gentleman can work his way out of it. 1.1 ERA, 7-0 on the year. Look at those K numbers, 50 on the season.
Impressive for Chance Wolf, who will be called on to close the door. Tough situation here with 2 on already and 1 out. Pennywell goes to third base, and Bryce Wilson, who was playing third, will come in to replace Wolf at catcher. So that's your rotation. Catcher moves to pitcher, pitcher moves to third, third moves to catcher. And coming up will be David Tilma, who is 0 for 2 so far on the night, has grounded out to the pitcher and the shortstop. 0 for 5 now in the 2 days this state tournament, but comes up in a big spot here. 2 on, 1 away. Bottom of the 6th inning, and the clever Blue Jays up by a run. See A.J. Boyer at second. Speedy guy, plays center field. And then the pitcher, Jonathan Finch, Struck out twice today, but worked a walk as the last batter that David Pennywell faced. You knew that this was a possibility when Pennywell was at 53 pitches through 3 innings.
Exactly, and talking to the head coach, Justin Snyder, before the game, he said, if it's a close game, we will not hesitate to bring Chance Wolf in. And this is a situation where the junior has been accustomed to be leaned on and has come through more times than not.
Wolf misses low and away with his first offering to David Tillman. Smacks one towards short. They'll take the play at first. Speedy Tillman almost beat out the throw, but Burnett just got him.
Nice strong throw by Burnett. Charged the ball in efficient fashion. Good bang-bang play. And second and third, 2 outs here. Ruben Erzman, we've seen some production from the bottom of the lineup. He's 1 for 2, been on base both times. And he's going to put himself in a position, and the Summit Christian Eagles, where a single can not only score the tying run, but possibly the go-ahead run. Pinch runner at second base, Harrison Shearer, no doubt will try to take home on a single.
Long lead for him at second base, and just grabbing the outside corner is Chance Wolf. Erzman falls behind, 0-1.
Talk to Ruben Erzman. He says he likes the power pitchers. He likes guys that will ramp up their fastball. He feels much more comfortable going against those type of pitchers. So this is right up his alley.
That fastball, a little bit out of the strike zone. Ball and a strike now to Ruben Erzman. 2 outs with 2 on in a 1-run game here in the Class II consolation game. Fouled back and out of play. Again, these 2 teams met in the semifinals last year, with Summit Christian getting the win. 12-2, they almost had a perfect game, as you recalled.
Yes, the game went into 5 innings. The run rule, the run spread after 5 innings. 4 2/3 innings of perfect game being pitched by Matthew Verschelden. Gave up a couple of late hits and a couple of late runs after an error. And Clever was able to get on the scoreboard, but not enough to keep the game going. So Clever trying to get some revenge here.
Brucker again double checking the count. Scoreboard was right this time. Ball at 2 strikes against Erzman. And Erzman lifts it into shallow right center field, but the right fielder out there to make the play. Martin records the out. We will go to the 7th and final inning with Clever leading Summit Christian 2-1. Travis Pennywell, the center fielder, will lead off the 7th inning. He is the top of the order for the Clever Blue Jays. Off-speed pitch. Misses low for a ball from Jonathan Finch, who's out there for a 7th inning of work.
Well, the senior Jonathan Finch has really pitched a gem of a ball game. Got touched up just a bit early on, settled into his own, got some good defense, gave up 8 hits on the game, but yet has found his way to get out of jams time and time again in this game. And what better way is there to go out as a senior, trying to complete a game?
And Pennywell lifts it high in the air, but an easy play for the third baseman, Patrick Love, to record the out. And here is Philip Valance, and Danon, he is a guy that represents that single scratched out run back in the 3rd inning, and he really just did a great job of manufacturing a run on the base pass.
Well, what he did is what you want to teach every young kid on how to base run. Very effective, hustled out a C&I single line drive between the shortstop and third base, just past the outstretched arm of Gary Gibson, took second on a sacrifice, third on a slow roller, and scored the first run of the game.
And now here he hits one on the ground and into left field. A 1-out single for Philip Valance. And the Clever Blue Jays get a 1-out single.
It's another nice at-bat for Valance. Sees a fastball that he likes early on and drives it right in the same gap as he had that first hit of the ball game. 2 for 4 on the night for the second baseman, senior.
Gets on with 1 out already, and now Chance Wolf drives one into center field. Long run and a great catch over the head made by Boyer. Back to first base goes Valance. Long run for A.J. Boyer, but he runs down the well-hit ball off the bat of Chance Wolf.
Another first pitch fastball. Nice job retreating to his left. A.J. Boyer, we talked about his speed out there, but you can't just have speed. You have to have instincts, and that's a nice job of him retreating and making a play.
5 1/3 innings pitched for David Pennywell, who is now the third baseman. Number 4 hitter stands in against Finch for the 4th time tonight. This is a ball, and Pennywell ahead in the count 2-0. Pennywell is 1 for 3 on the night. Had a bases empty double in the 5th. An RBI on a ground out back in the 3rd. Driving in Valance, who we just showed you was able to scratch out that run. That's a strike on a curveball.
Very interesting approach here with Finch getting up there in his pitch count. Valance having 10 stolen bases on the season. Hadn't really tried to swipe second. Nobody's really, that's a respect factor for Jared Gage behind the plate, I'm sure. Defensively, as I mentioned earlier, an outstanding catcher in his own right, amongst the best in the state of Missouri. And you have a speedster at first base that is not really going to test his arm, or hasn't done so far.
I believe this is a 3-1 pitch, and now a strike, swing and a miss from Pennywell. Now the umpire signals 2-2 as well. Pennywell got ahead in the count 2-0. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's upstairs. They'll try and get Valance at first, but he's back in time. Now the count is full.
Now in this situation, Valance will be running on the pitch with two outs and 2 strikes in full count.
Two to 1 ball game. Clever trying to get an insurance run. This ball is hit in the opposite field and down in fair territory in right field. And they throw to the second baseman, Hughes, and in to score easily for the second time tonight is Philip Valance. You're the right fielder, Tilma. You got to at least try and get that runner at home, don't you?
Yeah, I think there's just been a little bit of communication, lack of communication on where the cutoff is to get the ball into the infield quicker. And a nice job, another excellent job by Valance running on the pitch.
He got a great jump.
Great job by that young man, Pennywell, but you can see pitch on the outside part of the plate, drives it over the first baseman's head. Valance, no slow down, Snyder waving him home, and no play at the plate. What we talked about earlier in this game, the extra base hits were going to come down the lines because both defenses were squeezing the gaps and pretty much giving up the lines, and that's a nice job by David Pennywell driving that outside pitch to opposite field.
Now 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles. Ranger Curtis, though, grounds it back to the pitcher. Easy play over at first, and that will end the inning. But an RBI double for David Pennywell is an insurance run for the clever Blue Jays. Summit Christian will need 2 when we come back in the bottom of the 7th. Summit Christian supporters getting their rally caps on. Eagles need 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th against the clever Blue Jays to avoid an 0-2 weekend here in Springfield in the Class 2 State Baseball Championship. We have had 4 great games here in Springfield this weekend in Class 2. You got the good draw, my friend.
Yes.
You've had 4 great games to call. The Class 1 game's a little more lopsided. Santa Fe won decisively today to win the Class 1 state title. Not a lot of offense in Class 2. Not seen any team score more than 5 runs.
This is uncharacteristic for the Summit Christian Eagles as well. You look in their stat book throughout the season, very few games where they've had less than double-digit hits. And we talked about the double-digit runs, but you consider yesterday just 3 hits, right now in this ball game 5 hits. Very uncharacteristic, but you have to give a lot of credit to the opposing pitchers.
Torrin Hughes down in the count 0-2, and he strikes out. First out of the 7th inning is a strikeout. And Clever 2 outs away from capturing 3rd place. It'll be the top of the order. Garrett Gibson coming to the plate. On deck is Patrick Love.
It's a nice job by Chance Wolf. Location with that fastball.
Sacrifice bunt, Gibson's last time up. Chance Wolf trying to get the last 5 outs of this game at pitcher. Was the catcher for the first 16 outs of the ball game. Catching David Pennywell, who went 5 1/3 tonight. This pitch misses outside. 2-1 now the count against Garrett Gibson, the shortstop. 1 for 3 on the night, stranded at third in the first inning. One of 3 runners stranded, had the bases loaded with just 1 out. 2 straight strikeouts ending the threat. Clever crowd wanted a strike call there. Umpire Kevin Brucker ruled up and maybe away. The 3-1 pitch with the bases empty, 1 out here in the 7th. That one grabs the outside corner to run the count full, 3-2. 4 stranded runners in the first 2 innings. That will be what Summit Christian looks back on if they fail to get a rally here in the 7th. Time called by Gibson.
You have to give a lot of credit to that young man, number 24 on the mound. You consider the work that he's put in these 2 games, catching the entire game until it was time to come onto the mound. He's thrown over 300 balls, I would assume, between catcher and pitcher, and yet that's just a testament of confidence that Coach Schneider has in him, but his conditioning, his competitiveness, he's only a junior.
And Gibson caught just a piece of that one to stay alive. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. Out of play down the third baseline.
We've also witnessed some good battles between both teams, offensively and pitching. Working well in the batter's box, Garrett Gibson being one of those men.
This ball is fouled back and out of play. Yeah, in particular, Summit Christian has pushed a clever Blue Jay pitcher, first Pennywell and now Chance Wolf, to near double-digit at-bats, pitch-wise. Patrick Love, notably, struck out looking after looking at 12 or 13 Pennywell pitches. Their patience has not paid off in the form of runs, though. Just 1 to show for it. And there is strike 3 called. 2 outs.
Chance Wolf rears back, pushes down, drop and drive off of that mound, and really does a nice job of getting that extra oomph into his fastball. Good location, just on the outside part of the plate.
And now Patrick Love, the last chance for Summit Christian. Takes strike 1. Love 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts today. As we mentioned, had the one really good at bat, but is 0 for 6 the last 2 days. Just one of several guys who hasn't been able to get their offensive game going here in Springfield this weekend. Time called by Love. Class 3 and Class 4 will continue play. I keep saying this weekend, but it's really a Wednesday-Thursday tournament for Class 1 and Class 2 as Love grounds it to the second baseman. Valance with a little bit of trouble. And safe at first is Patrick Love to extend the ball game.
Good job by Love putting the ball in play.
Number 5,
looking for something to happen. Tough play for Valance. Ball got on top of him relatively quickly. Just could not grab hold of the ball and make a play.
As I was saying, Class 3 and Class 4 will play Friday and Saturday here in Springfield. So the 63rd MSHSAA Baseball Championships just halfway done. Got to crown the second We did crown the second state champion earlier today. South Callaway getting their first ever title in baseball in just their 5th appearance in the sectional round. Won 9 straight games to close out the season and grab the state title. Chance Wolf will work around a 2-out error. Scored an error on the second baseman Valance. The 3rd error of the game on the Clever Blue Jays. Our open was about the great defense we would see. We've seen some great defensive plays. But Clever has had 3 errors here tonight as well. Strike 1 to Matthew Verschelden.
Well, if you're looking to come back and you're a Summit Eagles fan, Matthew Verschelden batting .500 on the year with good pop, 3 triples and 1 home run. You have your 3 4-hole hitters. Jared Gage due up. 2 seniors, not a better way to try to end the season or extend the season than to have those 2 guys ready for battle.
Eagles need 2 runs. Verschelden takes the ball way outside. Ball and a strike now with the left fielder, Matthew Verschelden, who is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk in the first inning. And 0 for 5 here in the tournament. Swings and drives this one into center field. Tough play, but a leaping catch made by Travis Pennywell. And that will end the ball game. The Clever Blue Jays grab the consolation prize here in the Class 2 baseball tournament. A 3-1 win over Summit Christian. And one more great defensive play to end this game. Boy, we saw in the last inning, both center fielders make solid running plays. Pennywell, a nice job there.
A great job by Pennywell tracking that long fly ball by Verschelden to end the ball game. And you can see congratulations going all around for the Blue Jays. A great game played for Clever, getting some revenge on Summit Christian after 2011 loss here in this same stage.
We'll be back to wrap things up from Springfield as Clever gets the win.
Let's give a big round of applause for the Summit Christian Eagles.
A big insurance run for Clever in the top of the 7th inning and a save for Chance Wolf as he closes out a 3-1 win, getting the final 5 outs of the ball game. David Pennywell goes 5 1/3 and gets a victory here tonight as the Clever Blue Jays improve to 27-4 on the season and in their season with a 3rd place trophy here in Missouri Class 2.
Well, a well-played game, a great pitching duel between 2 very competitive young men, and you have to tip your cap to Summit Christian first for battling and staying in this ball game when they could not produce their A game offensively. And then the Clever Blue Jays did an excellent job defensively, offensively, coming through with clutch hits, and the pitching that we saw from Chance Wolf and David Pennywell was excellent this evening, and a well-deserved consolation win for the Clever Blue Jays today.
Generally, RBI, the more valued statistic But how about 2 big runs scored from Philip Valance, the first run of the game, and the 3rd run that was the insurance run in the 7th inning.
Valance did an excellent job, textbook base running. Nice job by him to produce those runs, manufacture runs on balls that are put in play by his teammates. It's exactly how the game was played. Well-played games all throughout. Congratulations to the Santa Fe Chiefs, to South Callaway in winning their first state championship, and here in this stage to the Clever Blue Jays for coming away with the consolation victory.
Summit Christian season ends at 22-7, a great season for them as well, as in back-to-back seasons they make the state's Final Four. That'll wrap things up from here in Springfield. We'll be back tomorrow with Class 3 and Class 4 semifinal action. We hope you'll join us. Until then, for our entire Metro Sports crew, my partner Dana Hughes, this is Nick McCabe saying so long from Meador Park in Springfield. Good night.